world. And I would like to tell you, wherever we fought, we won.
Well, for more on this, I'm joined by Gidi Greenstein. He served as the secretary of the Israeli delegation to the peace negotiations with the PLO under Prime Minister Ehud Barak and took part in the 2000 Camp David summit. Gidi, what's top of your mind on what is said to be a hugely significant day in this conflict?
So, of course, as Israelis, we're tremendously excited about the return of 48 hostages, 20 live, 28 are presumed to be dead. We've been wearing this pin for the last 2 years, and we hope to retire it soon. This is really a tremendous moment. But also, I think we're already looking at the next phase of the resolution of the conflict in Gaza. As was mentioned by your correspondent, the Trump 20-point plan is an outline for not only for resolving the situation in Gaza, but actually for moving forward on resolving the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And President Trump actually mentioned the word peace, a word that has been forgotten by many or not used by many for a long time. But we have to remember that translating these 20 points of President Trump into a working guiding set of principles will take a long time. Just to put things in context, the Declaration of Principles between Israel and the PLO of September 1993, which was more detailed than Trump's 20-point plan, when it was translated into a detailed agreement, it took almost 2 years of negotiations. So a lot of diplomatic work will be required, but my reason for hope is that this is a rare case where the President of the United States has put forward his outline for the resolution of this conflict at year one of his presidency. We have 3 years of an American president that is very determined. And that's why I'm hopeful. I think that he and his team that has been tremendously creative can actually bring the parties together and push the process forward.
Yeah, I can sense your optimism. And as you've alluded to, though, this conflict between Palestinians and Israelis dates back, decades. What needs to happen in the short term for this peace plan to have a chance?
The peace plan, in order to have a chance, needs another sort of clinch in terms of the understandings. It has established the principle that there will be a transition period in Gaza. During this period, Israel will be aligned in the perimeter of Gaza and the heart of Gaza. Right now, about 47%, but I think it will be pushed closer to 80%. That will be in control of an Arab international force, as well as Palestinian self-governing technocratic government. That area in the heart of Gaza, this is where we will need to see the process of clearing the debris, as President Trump mentioned, and then the process of reconstruction, building capacities, the withdrawal of Hamas that requires actually not just the military evacuation of the Hamas militants, but also replacement of the social infrastructure that Hamas has built in Gaza that provides for healthcare, welfare, education. All of that will need to be replaced by the new government in Gaza. And of course, there's going to need to be security and policing. So there's a lot of administrative tasks that need to be taken. But over, I believe, a 4-year period or a 3-year transition period, a lot can be done. And toward the end of that period, we can begin to discuss what we call the permanent status of Gaza, meaning what will be the permanent political arrangements in that area.
And the leadership in Israel and in Gaza will be key to this as well. How do you see Prime Minister Netanyahu approaching this peace plan that President Trump has put forward?
So basically, I believe that this is a point of significant contention between the direction which President Trump is taking and the current positions of the government of Israel, and that is with regard to the role of the Palestinian Authority. The government of Israel rejects any role of the Palestinian Authority in Gaza. Meanwhile, the Trump plan actually speaks about reforming and upgrading the Palestinian Authority so that it can take over from the security force that will be established in Gaza in the longer term. So this is a point of contention, and I think that on this specific point, Israel will have to accept the terms of President Trump. We also have to remember that the coming year is an election year in Israel, meaning the next government in Israel may be quite different than the government that we have right now, and therefore the positions may change. But ultimately, in the long term, what we have to remember is that Trump's 20-point plan actually reestablished a lot of the long-standing principles, a few of the long-standing principles of Israeli Arab and Israeli Palestinian diplomacy and peacemaking since the Camp David Accords of 1978. I'm talking about the fact that Gaza and the West Bank will be governed by a self-governing Palestinian body, that there are effectively a single territorial unit, and that effectively it is the Palestinian Authority that will be the representative body of the Palestinians, both in Gaza and the West Bank. We have to remember that before publishing the 20-point plan, President Trump said very clearly there will not be Israeli annexation in the West Bank. The 20-point plan also includes that there will not be annexation in Gaza, which basically effectively means that UN Security Council Resolution 242 that establishes the 1967 lines as the reference point for future territorial arrangements, that also has been reestablished. And of course, there is a reference in the Trump plan also to the right of Palestinians to self-determination. I believe this is the first time that the US president uses these words of Palestinian right to self-determination. Bottom line, I think that there is enough there, enough building blocks to build a political process moving forward, but the ability to move forward will depend on the American persistence, discipline, and always pushing the parties forward in the way that they did over the last few weeks.
And Gidi, thanks very much for your thoughts and your insight today. Gidi Greenstein.